Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Binman and today we are doing one of my favorite looks from an Audrey Hepburn movie called How to Steal a Million. It is the first look that we see her as we are introduced to her character, and she's wearing white. She's got her sunglasses and a fabulous Givenchy hat on, and this is her makeup look, so stay tuned. As always, I have just prepped my face, and so let's get started in the tutorial. Now, in How to Steal a Million Dollars, or How to Steal a Million, Audrey Hepburn has like the best makeup and wardrobe in the entire movie. So first we are going to prep our skin, because her skin looks amazing, but it was filmed in somewhere around the 60s and 70s. I'll have to double check. And they were really into matte makeup until you get to that one scene where she has a ton of glitter on her eyes, which is so fabulous. And I'm doing that for next week's tutorial. So this one is a more like glamorous everyday look. The focus is definitely on the eyes because she has a cut crease and she has a full liner look around her eyes as well. So we are definitely going to be spending a lot of time on the eyeshadows. So I'm just taking my corrector and correcting anything that needs to be taken down. I'm actually going to put a little bit on my nose as well, and just a touch on my cheeks. Okay, I am going to go in with just a little bit of concealer initially. I can tell that her foundation and her concealer are very, like, she's wearing makeup. She is not afraid. This is not a I just woke up like this look. It is definitely a makeup look, but it's not over the top either. It makes her look amazing, as she usually does in all of her films. And for those of you who don't know, this is the makeup where she's in the car. It is the first time that we are introduced to her character, and we can tell right away that she is someone who pays attention to fashion and is with it, even though her character's a little kind of bumbly. It's a really fun, she's a really funny character. I'm just going to really quickly do my skin, because even though we are focusing more on the eyes, I want to just do a first layer of skin, and we might end up going in a little bit more because, like I said, she's definitely wearing foundation. I can't see any of her natural skin peeking through, and that's just how they did makeup back then on film. Now I feel like the technology is so good that the foundation situation is very different. You want something that really melts into the skin. You don't necessarily want it to look like someone is wearing foundation, especially because of all the close-ups and detailed shots that are going on. So, but we're gonna stay as true as we can to the film and probably do a heavier foundation. So if you are wearing this for every day, just keep that in mind, that you don't have to put on as much concealer and foundation. This is just kind of a fun way to explore a movie that maybe you're familiar with you certainly should be familiar with it, just from a fashion and beauty standpoint, because especially next week's look, I swear it gets copied all the time. Okay, I'm doing my brows because her brows are definitely defined, and she, even in the movie, takes a moment to work on her brows, which I think is hilarious. I love it when actors do or pretend to do their makeup on screen. I think that's so funny. But honestly, she looks like she knows what she's doing in the film, so that's even funnier. Or more impressive, I suppose. Okay, I'm just going to wipe that off. So I just did my brows with my usual eyeshadows on my angled brush from Sigma. And I am going to start building up that eye. So with a really fluffy brush from BK Beauty, as always. You know, this look is super cool, but I am going to go in with my sculpting powder from Natasha Denona first, just to define the bone structure a little bit. Now, Audrey Hepburn's makeup is super, super angular. So we are going to try to make it a little bit more angular. Okay, so we've just very gently kind of defined the bone structure, and now we're going to go in with some cooler browns and really go for that cut crease. Okay, I am back. I had the idea that because in this picture Audrey Hepburn has her hair back and she's wearing a fabulous hat, I think by Givenchy, that I needed to put my hair back as well to really go with this look. So if you look on Pinterest for pictures of what she's looking like, you can tell that she's got kind of like pinky purples going on in the crease area, and it's not a blown out crease, it is definitely a cut crease. So before we go in and do that, I'm going to go in with the 203 from BK Beauty into Vanilla. And I'm going to put that all over the lid, and we'll probably end up doing this again. After we've defined the crease, because her lid is very, very light. And we're just packing that on as much as we can. Now some of this is going to go away as we start to build up that crease area. So I'm going to go in with Royal Rendezvous on a 217. I'm actually going to grab a brush so I can see a little bit, or not a brush, a mirror so I can see a little bit better. And just right on that bone. I'm going to start building that up. And that does come all the way to the inner part of that lid. So you can see that is starting to get a cut crease. And then it looks like, it doesn't look like she has a liquid liner. It looks like she has either pencil, and then they drew it out a little bit, or gel for her liner. So that's what we are going to do. Again, I'm just focusing on that bone, and I'm going to pull it out a little bit because she definitely has a feline eye going on. Okay, and then we're going to take a step back and take a look at what's going on from farther away. It's always a good idea to take a step back and see what's happening. Okay, I can always clean up that part a little bit. I'm going to go in with a pencil brush, and I'm going to use Haux on my pencil brush. Just to develop that a little bit more. And again, just starting to pull that out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go back in with my 217 and just soften that a little. Because even though it's defined in the movie, it's not like theatrical. Okay. This is powder. We can always go back and clean it up if we need to. Now, we are going to go in with our angled brush and chocolate shimmer and start to build that cat eye liner that wraps around her entire eye. And then we'll adjust the eyeshadow as necessary. The line is decently thick. So little dashes getting right into the roots. Okay, we're going to do the same on the other side. So following our lower lash line, and then pulling it on to the top lid. Okay, taking a step back, making sure the wings are equal, and I can definitely see that this side has a little bit more of that powder, and this side looks a little bit weaker to me. Oops. We might need to grab our primer to do a little cleanup. Yeah, just to make that a little bit sharper. Okay, I'm going to take off any excess. I'm actually using a baby wipe. And I'm just going to lift some of the bottom of that flick. And then it becomes a lot sharper. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. There we go. Now again, my eyes are much rounder than Audrey Hepburn, so my eye look is going to look a little bit different than hers. I'm going to go back in with my pencil brush, and I am just going to wipe off Haux, and I'm going to go in with Brun, because I think that matches pretty well. And Audrey has liner all the way around her eyes. So starting at the outside, the outer part of the eye, I'm going to pull that in very gently. Yes. Amazing. Okay. It doesn't look like she's filled in her waterline, and that was very popular back then, to line your entire eye and then not fill in the waterline, because it does give you even bigger eyes. So I'm going to go back in with my 217 and just soften things just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to go in with a little kid on my 217 and just kind of touch the top of that line to kind of soften both the top and the bottom. Okay, now, no matter how careful you are, you will have a little bit of a drop down. So take your fingers, make sure they're clean, just do a little tap. I'm going to go back in with the 203 with a ton of vanilla on it. And I'm just going to revamp the vanilla that I've already put down. Being careful not to mess up my cut crease, and also not to put anything on the liner that I just did. Okay, I think this is looking really cool. This is so different from what I usually do. All right, I'm going to finish off with mascara, and I'm just going to use Smoky Lash this time. I'm not sure if Audrey Hepburn is wearing lashes or not, but I'm just going to load up the mascara. On the top and the bottom. I'm definitely going to go heavier than I normally would for both the top and the bottom. To basically give it that false lash look. Okay, and then lower lash line. And now we are going to finish the skin and do the lips. So I'm going to go in with a little bit more concealer. If you can hear that little kiddo in the background, that's mine. Oh boy. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use my precision powder brush. And again, really trying to emphasize the angle of the cat eye that we've just done. And even bringing it back a little bit more. Okay. Foundation. This is definitely a heavier application than I would normally do. So, but I think maybe just a little bit, like a teeny tiny pump more. I'm just going to go directly from my hand and just put a little bit more on my cheeks. And then you know what? I'm actually going to take my concealer and I'm going to do a full highlight. Because back then, they totally would have. My forehead is pretty big already, so I just want the emphasis to be right through the center. we're going to powder. So I'm going to use my same brush. I'm just going to knock off any excess. And I'm really going to mattify. I'm not going to use any highlighter because Audrey's face is pretty flat. It's not flat, it's matte. There is no sheen. That foundation, it almost looks like pancake foundation, and it totally could be based on the time period. Of this film. Okay. It doesn't look like she's got a ton of contouring on, so I'm just really lightly with my fluffy BK Beauty bronzer brush, just so I can add a little bit of bone structure like Audrey. Focusing definitely on the outer parts. Let's fix the hair later. Okay, maybe I will go in with my precision brush a little bit. When you're doing Audrey, you just go for it. Okay, just a little bit right there, and a touch on my nose. All right, we are powdered. We are looking good. She has just a touch of blush. So I'm going to go in with Mocha, barely. And then over with my foundation brush, make sure that's not too much. Okay, and then her lips are kind of a pinky color. Rosy Shell from Lisa Eldridge would work really well. I'm going to do Kitten Mischief. And then I'm going to put Charm on top. And then very, very lightly with my Sony Kashuk, I'm going to take my pale yellow powder dab some powder on my lips. And that is the look. I hope you enjoyed this look inspired by Audrey Hepburn's makeup in How to Steal a Million. I really enjoyed that movie, even though it is kind of stereotypical with men and women. I love the fashion, I love the makeup, and I think the story is kind of cute as well. So again, this is the scene when we first see her, and it's all about her big eyes and her big liner, and not really anything going on in the lips. The next look that I'm going to do next week is even more out there and with lots and lots of sparkle. So definitely stay tuned for that. I do fashion videos every Wednesday. I do beauty videos every Friday. If this was helpful at all or fun, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I will see you very soon. Bye!